right.
So, Max, has any book meant enough to you to reread it? If so, which and why?
There's only one book I've read more than 3 times, and it's Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just the classic adventure story. Like, it's just so mystical on top of that. Like, I don't know. Like, I just remember reading it because I read somewhere it's like it's in the top 10 list of books you should read before going to college. Mm-hmm. And it was the only one that was a children's story. And so I was like, all right, let's check that out. And
I read it before I went to elementary school.
Yeah, and I wish I had gotten my hands on it sooner, but I love it. For some reason, I can keep going over it, and it's just kind of absurd. She doesn't really learn much. Like, she kind of comes out on the other side almost the same a little bit, but I don't know. I get a little something from it each time I read it, and it just warms my heart.
Yeah, it's an odd little hero's journey in that she doesn't come out super different.
No, she doesn't. It's not like a lot of life lessons we're learning there, because there's no real life lessons learned, because everything is so weird and off the wall. It's like, there's nothing to learn here.
Makes you think about your preconceptions. I've always appreciated your good humor and sense of play. What draws you to pop culture and events like Comic-Con?
I don't know. I think what keeps me coming back to Comic-Con is it's exciting. It's literally the physical embodiment of like sensory overload. There's sights, sounds, smells, everything. So many smells. More smells than you'd imagine.
Right.
And I don't know what it is. It's fascinating to watch pop culture, but it's also kind of interesting I don't know, I like finding the human elements. Today we're talking about Taylor Swift and her dating life and how I'd like to see an album where she spends 3 months not dating anyone. And I don't know why, it's always fascinated me. And, me and my family, we always watch the Academy Awards. That's our big event. That's our Super Bowl. And so for some reason you have to keep up on that, and you kind of have to be at the edge, and so it's just something I've always followed. I think life is funny, and you just kind of have to look at it, and that's where I draw my humor from.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What is your strongest memory from your performing days? The one that springs to mind when you imagine yourself as an actor or improv artist?
Well, it's the show we did, the One Act Festival, the 6 One Acts.
Parents and Children?
Parents and Children. That was so good, and I love that. Like, even at that moment, actually something really kind of shitty happened in my life right around there, in my relationship, right at that time. And so there's a lot of mixed emotions in that grab bag of memories, but I met you there, and I met Tamara there, and I've seen Tamara so long, and I met Leslie through there, I met JJ through there, and Lauren Modica, she's just a power of her own. And what I really remember is actually spitting in Max Blond's face. and I remember John Duncan, he told me, because he wrote the script that I performed in, and he just gave me the role. He's like, we had someone that dropped out, I think you'd be great. Do you want it? I didn't have to audition, he just handed it to me, and that was beautiful. And but he told me, he's like, there's a part where I had to spit in Max Blond's face, and he goes, either do it or don't. Because he can't expect nothing and then get something, and he can't expect something and not get anything. And he goes, but I'll tell you this, if you spit in his face, you're going to feel like a monster every single time. Mm-hmm. And I did, but I got over it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about
because
me.
it's Max Blond.
Because we've all met Max.
Yeah. I was the only, he tried to take my name away from me.
Yeah.
I told him, he's like, well, one of us is going to be Max 1, one's going to be Max 2. And he goes, how long have you had your name? And I go, my whole life? How long have you had yours? He goes, oh, it's not a stage name? I'm like, no, Max Myers is my real name. He goes, oh. But I had no feelings towards him. But yeah, it did kind of suck to spit in his face every night for a few weeks. But it was also kind of fun. I've never had to do it again. And that was nice. But that was such a great moment. I got so much from it. And that's the last time I did it. So, of course, it's the best memory. Hopefully it won't be the last time, but that was the last time.
We did audition together.
Yes.
For Measure.
And I couldn't take it because of my terrible work schedule. He gave me the role, and I couldn't take it.
Work gets in the way. So it gets in the way.
Why is life so terrible?
And you know who else got it?
Who?
The other Max.
No!
Max Blond.
You just replaced it with another Max. Oh, damn it. So, yeah. I think those are our 3 questions.
That is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for